one.
Hello and welcome to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean and Dylan Greenberg of Greenberg Financial Group. I get both of you today. It's a beautiful day.
And we get you in red today.
Well, thank you. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you like that red, don't you?
Red's my color. Red makes me happy, so I'm just going to go with it today. When we're talking about money, which is green.
Right, you don't want to be red in money.
We definitely don't want to be red.
Red's good for love.
I want everybody who's sitting on the other side of this television to really get to know both of you. And, you know, let's talk about what got you started.
You mean my brother?
All right, let's go with it. You have your son working with you. It's a family business. A lot of people would love to have their kids working with them, so you're very blessed in that way. But I would love people to understand really what makes you guys tick. Why'd you get in this industry?
Well, I got it a long time ago.
Not that long.
It was a long time ago. Got out of college, started working for Ford Motor Company, and I realized there was no way that I was going to work for a corporation. I realized I was different. You got to know who you are. And I wasn't one of those type of people that could sit around for 30 some odd years and just gradually get up your paycheck and do all this other stuff. And you had to get in line, and you couldn't think outside the box, and you couldn't do things you wanted. So if I knew that, that was important. And one of the reasons I knew that is once I got my MBA, I was going ahead and interviewing. And I interviewed for a bank, European American Bank in Long Island. And I went through all the interviews, and the last guy I met said, "Dean, I'm going to do you a favor." I go, "What?" I thought he was going to offer me the job. He says, "I'm not offering you the job. And it's not because you don't have the energy, it's not because you don't have the intelligence, and it's not because you can't do the job." He said, "You would hate this job. You would hate being a banker. You need to get into the investment world." He says, "So where, you know, it's unlimited to what you can do and the paths that you can take. Bankers, we're structured. We have to fit into a little box and stuff. You wouldn't fit here. And I'm letting you know that now, as an older person to a younger person, even though you got everything that it takes, you need to move on and find something else." And of course, I was depressed, you know. So, you know, so I ended up with Ford Motor Credit Company, and then I realized he was so right. So I went back again and got finance, an MBA in finance and investments and all this stuff, and I started to look around to what to do. But I found over the years what it is. It's about I love helping people. I love teaching, educating the things. I am not afraid to simplify things for people to know. And doing the radio show for 33 years has allowed me to think on a different level to explain. If they understand what you're talking about, they trust you. People in my business for many, many years always wanted to talk above people, okay, and use big words and terminologies that they know to make them feel good, but the clients didn't know. And I want to, as you say, you keep calling me a financial therapist too. I want to know who they are, what they tick. That's always been the way I've been. And I kind of built my firm on people that are like that. I want them to talk to them, find out how are their kids, what have they done, what do they do in life, what made them come to Tucson, you know, what do they want to do in life, you know, how do they want to retire, what's their vision, deeper thoughts and deeper questions than just, okay, here it is, you go do whatever you want. Because if we don't know that, it's crazy. And our clients, even when they move, like I had one come in yesterday, he's moving back to, I think it's North Carolina to be with his, more of his family. And so, oh no, Florida, I'm sorry, down to Florida. And he came in to say goodbye to us and hugged us and stuff for all the years that we've been together. And that is why I do this, to give back, to educate, to put people in positions that they can feel comfortable in life. And I'm trying to pass that on to obviously Dylan and the rest of us, and we work as a team. I've been coaching for 20 years, high school lacrosse and football, and I just believe in a team. It makes it more of a family. It makes it more realistic. It's not cutthroat between each other. We work, we win, we lose, we have adversity. Everything that happens, we do as a team. And it's been, for me, it's been why I love doing what I'm doing. I'm never going to retire.
Do you think Dylan, do you think that these conversations that were had around the dinner table when you were a kid affected you in this way?
Oh, 100%. I grew up around it. I mean, he's had the business since before I was born. So I was kind of around it the whole time. And growing up, I would watch the stock market in the morning with him before school. And I kind of just had a fascination with the markets my whole life. I didn't necessarily want to come back to Tucson and work with him right away because going into college, I went to college for finance and everything. I was more one-track mind in the sense of I knew I wanted to do something in finance. I didn't know exactly what, but I wanted to do something. And I went to school and I got my master's in finance and everything like that. And I was getting ready to go try and work in Wall Street. I wanted to go be a trader or somewhere, New Jersey, Wall Street, Chicago, anywhere big city. And I was like, I don't want to go back to Tucson just yet. I was like, I'm young, I want to go be a trader. But then I did an internship over at RBC up in Minneapolis, and then that was for the summer. And in the meantime, I had to go, once that lease was up, I had to go find somewhere to live. So I moved back to Tucson, which I thought was for the meantime. And during that time, I started working at Greenberg Financial Group because I had to do something. And I was just sitting there, and then I started being around the whole group and everything like that. And I realized what they were doing, and I was saying, maybe I could get into this right away. I didn't think I could. I thought I needed to be a little older to be an advisor. I thought I needed to have a little more experience. And that's kind of why I wanted to go be a trader or something like that. But I realized if I just dive right into it right away, I get so much more experience younger, and I enjoy doing it. And I realized that they help so many people, and they build their relationships. And that's what I've always loved to do my whole life is just help people. I like to build relationships. I like to meet new people. I like to learn about their story and everything. And this job just lets me do it every day.
We're mentoring the younger people, so in 10 years, they're going to have all our knowledge. And then they'll be able to take it and run with it. So it's a real legacy that we're trying to build. I could have sold my company. Trust me, I could sell it. I don't want to sell it. Selling it is not, it's about me. Building it, teaching, educating them to educate others and let them take it and run with it. That's about what I've always been about. I don't know. That's the way I grew up. Help out others. Don't be selfish. You know, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not strong-minded and I like things a certain way, but to be successful, I've had to open up and do stuff. But when we come back after this, I do want to talk about the dynamics between a father-son working together, because we made a promise to each other that we'll always talk it out. But there were certain things that I've learned from him that I want to share in case people are thinking about doing this as they move on with their businesses.
Absolutely, and I want to, when we get back, we'll talk about ultimately what this all creates, which is this beautiful financial plan. We're going to talk about it later. We can digress all day long. That phone number is 844-544-4909. Don't leave us. We have so much to talk about on your road to retirement, so we'll see you in a few.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Hello and welcome back to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean and Dylan Greenberg of Greenberg Financial Group. And we're talking about where you guys got started and how Greenberg Financial Group is different than a lot of other financial groups.
Yeah, but I told everybody we were going to talk about the relationship.
You want to talk about father-son dynamics?
Well, I mean, because it's important. I mean, before Dylan came to me, I spoke to a lot of friends that had their sons working for them, and it's not been great. Some has, and they've kind of worked into it. The biggest dynamic that we had is it took a while for Dylan to get over the fact that people thought he was being handed something. I've never handed my kids anything. I wasn't handed anything. I don't hand them everything. Now, accept opportunity. He felt like, well, you know, people like, you know, oh, you're lucky you're going into this and doing into that. And then I sat him down and I said, Dylan, you're the one with all the pressure. I had no pressure. I had $5,000 when I was 31 years old. I started my company, only because I got fired from Atlanta for sticking up for a client, okay? I had nobody knew me. Nobody knew anything. There was nothing built up that I can fail at. I could just fail and move on. Nobody cared. I said, we've built a very, very successful business. It turns over to you over time and the people that you want to be working with. Now the onus is on you to make this work. Failure now is much bigger for you than it was ever for me if it happens. I don't believe it would happen because I wouldn't put you in that position. But that's where the pressure is. Don't listen to the haters. There's always going to be haters. Every time you go up the ladder, there are haters. But just be who yourself and be able to look in the mirror and know, I give back. I treat people well. I do the things that make me happy, and it's not about me, it's about others. I said, when you do that and you become a community person and you care about your clients and you build a business, that's what you are. So that has switched around to where he realizes, that's where the pressure, he's right. It's the pressure of making this keep working other than just starting.
Another interesting dynamic, though, that I think it offers is I imagine that people in the younger generations, because we have been talking about how important it is to start your financial plan at a younger age. It's not just planning for retirement. It's that long road that you need to take to get there. And so I imagine younger people have an ability to relate to you, too, and you can sort of explain things. And it's a different world. It's a different language. We were talking earlier about social media. That has changed the culture so much. Actually, I do get excellent financial information on social media as well. It's another avenue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the big thing for my generation is social media. There are good things about social media in that sense, and it opens their mind about retirement and everything, and showing that it isn't as far away as they think. It is something they should start thinking about now. Mm-hmm. Because before social media, they just thought, nah, I don't need to worry about it. I'll deal with it when I'm in my 40s and have a family. But now people are thinking, they're in their 20s, like, I want to have something set up before I have a family, so I'm not scrambling, making ends meet when I have the family. We're already set up and have something going for us.
Well, and as you were saying in another show, we may not have Social Security anymore. I mean, your generation has to worry about a whole host of different problems, so planning early is even more important.
Yeah, our big thing for that is we want younger people to create their own pension for themselves. And they do that by starting early and building a habit on saving for their retirement on whatever vehicle, whatever they can do. They've got to do it starting early, and they'll have a better pension that they built for themselves, by themselves, when they retire.
Are you seeing a rise of entrepreneurship, in younger generations, wanting to create their own businesses, not sort of like you were saying, following along with
Definitely the mindset. And I've had some younger people come to us to talk to us about how you're successful in business. But those that don't, a lot of them fail because they don't know. I just didn't go into this on myself. I started talking to people that had experience. The one thing that has made me successful, I have an open mind. And then I get what I want, and then I formulate what I want to do. I'm not afraid to do some things outside the box, like managing money for a fee in 1988. But young people have also helped me with technology and and processes and things that they want to do. And I always said, as I've gotten older, if I don't listen to my employees, if I don't listen to the young people and be able to change and do some things, then I might as well retire. I might as well just sell and get out. I don't want to do that, so I have to be open-minded. A lot of people get older and they don't want to listen. They know it all. I don't know it all. I never have known it all. And in our business, you'll get so humbled if you think you know it all. But creating and building like these financial plan things, we never did this 20 years ago because all it was selling insurance. Now it's actually helping people. And what's really cool about Dylan and I, we get along very well. We argue, we fight, we do like what everybody else does. But Now we're moving on, and I coached him my whole life. And I coached my other son his whole life. And we went to championships. And then he went on and played football at Kentucky. And now he's back. And now for the first time, what we're going to get to do is coach football together. We're taking over this other high school, and a guy that I used to coach who lived with us when he was in high school is now the head coach there. And he asked us to help him, and we're excited about doing that. And that's how I've always given back. Like my wife has always told me, what I was born to do was to keep changing lives of kids. I can't change a lot of them, but I do change some kids. And in fact, one of the kids that I coached for 4 years at Mountain View High School is now working for us. And he came and he showed me this video that on senior night, I said that he's the one kid that I've ever coached that one day he's gonna come work for me. And that was 6, 7 years ago. I had no idea. I don't remember it, of course, as you get older, but it's very cool. And he did all the things he said he was going to do. And he's become a big asset, and him and Dylan get along great. And that's that young generation that's going to keep propelling Greenberg Financial Group.
Yeah, and I think that's why the culture we have at Greenberg Financial is the culture we have, is because of you've been coaching for 20 years. I've been playing sports my entire life. It's the idea of the team aspect. And we're just not, we were linemen. We were O-linemen and offensive linemen in football, as you might be able to see, is the idea. But as an offensive lineman, you can't be selfish as an offensive lineman. You have to work, all 5 guys have to work together in unison to make it work. If one guy's off, then the play's going to be dead. And that we kind of transferred that from football over to the business world. And that's why the way we work at Greenberg Financial is just, it meshes so well, because we're all just open and on the same page and just trying to make Greenberg Financial go forward rather than this person go forward. Or that
I love
person
what
go
you
forward.
said before also about sort of taking the intimidation factor off the table, because making things understandable to people and making it relatable makes you understand that you are worthy of this conversation. No matter what your financial situation is, how far down this path you already are, you're worthy of this conversation. And that is what people need to
think about what we do. The financial plan, the estate plan, all that stuff's so easy for us. We're game planning every week for a game, every week. And that's our business. So our business life, our work life, our fun life, it's all the same. And that's why we're so good at what we do, because you have to look at what's out there and you got to make the right decisions in order to be, I know you can't say winner anymore because everyone just hates all winners, but we are winners.
I love a winner. I'm not a hater. That number again is 844-544-4909. We have a QR code on the screen. You can scan that with your smartphone. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and learn more about Greenberg Financial Group and how they can help you plan for your perfect retirement. We'll see you soon.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. The one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Hello and welcome back to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean and Dylan Greenberg of Greenberg Financial Group, and we're learning more about this process that it's really unique to you guys, the way that you work as a team, your coaching philosophy, your education, your radio shows. You really are putting out there the word that this is not an intimidating process. This is something that everybody should be doing to strengthen their financial situation, to learn if they're on the right path to where they want to be.
Remember, it's not just us. We have 8 other people with us, support groups, other advisors working as a team, And I took all commissions off the table, and everyone's based on getting a salary, plus how we do as a firm, which is bonuses. And if you do that, it's amazing how you don't have to tell people that, how many days off they have. They want to work. They want to hit goals. And I know it's a different philosophy, but it's the only people I want working for me. And that's who you want working for you, is somebody that's going to sit with you and meet your goals, whatever they are. And when they're not meeting their goals, what adjustments do we make? It's no different than in a football game. Halftime, you're not winning. What do? You make adjustments. That's what we do.
Well, and as we've talked before about the importance of this plan, I really would love for you to get a little bit into what exactly is. We keep talking about a plan. I mean, you could ask me if I have a plan, I'll tell you what it is. This is not the type of plan we're talking about.
Oh, I know what your plan is.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so the nuts and bolts of this plan, the financial plan that we keep talking about, and we always try and tie it back into it because we find it so valuable and so important to create your plan. And we want you to do it as early as possible, but it's obviously never too late either. And what it is, it's a program we have, and it takes into account your expenses, your income, your spouse's income, and then it's your combined expenses. And then it takes into account your life insurance, your Social Security, which it also has a Social Security optimization tool where we can find the best time for you to take it. It takes into account your investments. Do you have any rental homes? Do you have your primary home? Do you plan on selling that primary home during retirement to fund any goals or not? And it takes into account all of that. And then the last thing we do is the Monte Carlo simulation, which is 1,000 different scenarios, different returns of your plan immediately, and it'll show you which ones are going to happen, which ones not. And if you are 80% or better in that, if 800 of those plans work, then you're most likely going to be successful with your retirement plan throughout the rest of your life. And then if not, if for some reason it's at 50%, we try and figure out where can we kind of tweak it to figure out how to make it 80% plus, because we want to figure out how to get you successful during retirement so you can live the life you want. You might just have to budget a little more.
That being said, the earlier you start, the more likely that you can get it to where you want it to be.
Exactly. And I mean, if you start really early, if you start in your 30s, it's obviously going to change a lot throughout your life. If you have no kids in your 30s, you just got married and you're like, okay, we need to do a plan now. It's going to look a lot different probably in 10 years when you're 40. So that's why we suggest you update it once a year at least, or any major life events. Maybe you had a relative that died that left you a lot of money. Now you don't know what to do with, all of a sudden you came into $500,000 that you never had before. You don't know what to do with it. So we add that to the plan. We figure out ways to kind of do that. Or you have a kid. All of a sudden maybe you have twins and you're like, you got to figure out a different budget. Then you got to start saving for colleges already and everything like that. And that's why it's easy to update. It's easy to keep current, but it has to be on you as well, the client. They have to want to do it as well. It can't just be on us because we don't know exactly what's going on.
Well,
in
the
their
only
life.
thing constant is change, and I can guarantee you that since 2020, every single person watching this show has experienced some type of a significant change. And if you haven't, had these conversations or you haven't heard from your financial advisor since prior to that, that's a big red flag because these things need to be updated and reflecting all of this change that has come.
And here's the other thing too, as you're going into retirement, right? It's just like the markets, okay? When things are great and you're healthy, that's the time to plan for when you're not healthy. You don't plan for when you're not healthy to do something. Plan now. Do you need long-term care? It's like we talked about on some previous shows. There's products out there now that you do not, if you don't use the long-term care, the money doesn't get wasted on premiums. You're not going to make a lot off of it, but at least you can get that money back. And that's something that we have been talking to a lot of people about and they like doing because, oh, I like that. I'm going to plan for it, but hopefully nothing happens and I don't need to go into long-term care. And okay, so that money's there to pass on to my spouse, whoever.
Yeah, we find it a lot more valuable, these new products that are out there with that, because the traditional long-term care, it's insurance. You just pay it away, and if you never use it, you never use it. But at least this way, your heirs could maybe receive the money if you never end up using it.
Well, and I love that you were talking about how you think that the way the financial landscape is changing for the better in terms of there are so many more vehicles available to us if we have somebody who knows.
Well, they're available to us, and they're also more beneficial to us. It used to be you give the annuity company $100,000 and you never see it again. They'll pay you an income stream forever. But now you have a product where you could get an income. It's an income rider. You can have that on your $100,000 if you want. If not, you don't have to. But that money, that $100,000, is still yours. If there's any left when you die, say you do the income rider and there's any left when you die, those go to your heirs. It just doesn't go automatically to the annuity company. So they're being a lot more friendly now than the traditional annuity that people have a really big stigma about back in the day.
I'll tell you something that we touched on earlier that I think is really important is that, with the advent of social media and all of these other avenues, people are getting their information,
Yeah, but think about this.
getting the right information.
It's okay. A lot of people say, I'm going to do it yourself. Well, if you don't know what you're doing and you do it yourself, what do you end up with? A do it yourself that you don't know what you're
I
doing.
don't even understand that concept. I'm going to go to
Okay.
the doctor if I have a problem. I'm not going to try to
Right.
self-diagnose it.
Obviously you got to know what the fees are for doing it. Okay, a fair fee is somewhere between 1% and 1.25% or 1.5%, depending on how much money's in there. But if it's a lot more than that, go negotiate. If you got a lot more money in there, negotiate down and everything. Everything's negotiable. But what I'm saying is, people think they can do it themselves, and then when they do it themselves, you know when they come see us? When it's not working. Don't come see us when it's not working. Well, fix that. Come see us when it is working so we can help you before it's not working.
No, I was just going to say, we're there to help you before it's too late. That's all I was going to add.
That's a good
Well,
one.
you know what? But I love the fact that it's never really too late and it's never too early. I mean, they're watching this show, they're thinking, I haven't had these conversations before. I don't know the answers to a lot of these questions. And you can't give them the answers because you don't know their individual specific financial situation. Your financial situation is gonna be a lot different than mine. I have 4 kids. And as you were saying, I'm just thinking, okay, we did our estate plan before we got married. It changed after 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids. Of
course.
It changes a lot
Exactly.
throughout life.
And here's the one thing. If you hear about getting second opinions and things like that to get a financial plan, I think it's great. But make sure that if you're going to go do this free complimentary financial plan, that if you don't do business with them, you still get the plan. I refuse not to give the plan. We finish the plan, 30, 40, whatever it is, we email it to you in a PDF so you have it. Whether you do business with us or not, you're getting it. I tell you it's free. I tell you you're getting it. My word is my word, and it's going to happen. Okay? And you also get all our recommendations.
To me, it's a complimentary conversation. There's coffee, and now I know there's bagels, which I think we should have started with that.
Sometimes, not every time.
And this is what you get. I mean, what you see is what you get with you guys, which I love. We take all the intimidation off the table and get a really personalized education on where we're at. To me, it's invaluable because it's peace of mind. And that's all I can say.
Sarah, we'll
Yes?
see you next week.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining us on your road to retirement. We really appreciate your time. Our gift to you is this phone number, 844-544-4909. Give us a call, and we look forward to talking to you and learning if you're on the right road to retirement. We'll see you soon.